Man, 2025 has been really tough for me, and it's been one of those years that I have had to deal with a lot of things that I'm not so used to dealing with. And this is July, but it feels very much like January for me because this is the first time I'm making a real video this year. I know I put up a video a couple weeks ago, but it was just a very casual, informal video. And what exactly has been going on with me in 2025? You know, when I ended last year, I was so pumped up going into 2025, but one thing happened, which was me making the decision to go full time into business. So before relocating to Canada in 2022, I used to do business already, but moving to Canada made me slow down a bit. I needed to focus on schooling, and then I got a job at some point, and then I eventually started getting back into business gradually until last year I stopped enjoying having a job because I felt like I wasn't getting the freedom that I wanted in terms of being able to travel. Now, I had a very flexible job because I'd actually quit my full-time job in 2023 December, and what I was really doing last year was more like a part-time job. But as much as it was a part-time job working 2 to 3 times a week, they still wanted me to come around, which meant as much as I loved to travel, I needed to ask for permission. I had limited days where I really could travel and all of that. But you know, the interesting thing is that even though now this year I've said, oh, I wanted the freedom, now I've quit my job, I'm going to focus on my business and all of that. Guess what? I've not been out of Canada for even up to 7 days this year. And it's absolutely insane because all those while I typically travel 3 to 4 months a year, but now I've only been out less than 7 days, and this is July. And that's the whole illusion with trying to start a business, building a business, and all of that. Because at the beginning of the year, I quit my part-time job fully and decided to delve into business like full-time. Now, when I decided to go back into business full-time, I knew that I really needed a lot of focus, especially in a country like this where the bills wouldn't pay themselves, right? So I needed something that would give me good active income and something that I could build long term. So I had a marketing agency that had been running right from time, which I began to really drill on. And man, it's been really amazing building this agency so far this year, where we help creators, a lot of the top creators that you know, we help them monetize their audience. And so far this year, we've done over $500,000 in revenue, which is absolutely insane. But beyond all of that, it's also the fact that there's now no time anymore because there's a lot of competition in the space. And if you want to keep up, you need to really be on the top of your game. And like I said, you need to pay the bills. So if you're going to start paying yourself a salary and all of those kind of things, you can't just leave things to chance and then play digital nomad and all of those kind of stuff, right? So it's just been a tough spot to be in. Then along the line, sometime last year as well, I stumbled on this home service business called a moving business. Now, I knew about moving quite all right from time, but now I had a friend who lives in Windsor, his name is John, who was into this business. And this, my friend, introduced me to the moving industry full time. So I started doing moving as well. So I launched a moving business. So now I was running a normal digital marketing agency where I had a team of about 5 people to manage, which has been really difficult, like quite difficult. And then I had the moving business where I had to start talking to people one-on-one. So for moving, you need to help people move into their new houses and all of that. So I needed to go into people's houses. I needed to start learning to actually sell to this market. I mean, Canadians and all of that, because these are the real people, the whites. They've been my major target market in that business. Unlike my marketing agency, even though we work with people in this part of the world, we've been working majorly with black people. So they already kind of understood that market. So it was kind of taking me out of my comfort zone with the moving business. So I started the moving business, and suddenly after starting out, I saw that it was an easy $100,000 a year business. So I began to drill on it, And I started like trying to formulate a lot of ideas to see how I can make the business scalable. But the problem with the moving business is that it is very highly operational, which means that it requires your presence for a lot of things to run smoothly. And even for you to scale, you need to eventually take on a lot more liability, which has been a tough thing for me to handle and manage so far. And that's kind of what I've been dealing with, trying to handle so far this past couple months. And yeah, I'm getting a hold of it. But in between all of this old madness and shenanigans, I also got to the point where I lost a 4-year relationship. So it was quite tough as well because, yeah, as a guy, you know, you want to try to navigate all of that. But that was just something that happened, caught me unawares, and it was a bit difficult to deal with as well, which kind of disrupted my flow and all of that. But we've moved past that at this moment. So let's talk about the agency. So with my digital marketing agency, one of the things we've really been trying to do is partnering with top creators across the world, helping them monetize their audience. So we help them launch products from digital to physical, help them launch their brands, and help them actually scale their business, because a lot of them know how to create content just like I'm doing, even of course way better than I do. I'm not so good with creating the content in itself, but they don't know how to monetize it. So we help them monetize it. And like I mentioned earlier, it's been absolutely insane getting to the point where we've helped these people monetize their audience to a point of making up to $500,000 this year. Now, we've been at all of this, and then we are trying to like sign up new clients, build up systems, because you know how before moving to this place and like running a business in Nigeria, you could run it as a hustle, but now you need a lot more structure. So we're kind of at that structure phase, trying to build all of those things together. And along the line, I decided to start creating content on Instagram. So like I said, I've not posted any video on YouTube this year, but I've been posting consistently on Instagram. So it was just a random day. I pulled out my camera and then I told people like, oh, I was now working on a moving business, and then my Instagram blew up. Like, I mean, my Instagram has gone from about 4,000 followers to about 20,000 followers in the past 4 months, thereabouts, just because I started talking about my moving business, home service businesses as a whole. And it's been absolutely incredible, but at the same time, now becomes a lot more demanding as well, because as you're trying to get clients, now you want to keep up with the content. And a lot of people, especially immigrants, love the type of content I put out, because a lot of immigrants like myself, we're used to doing 9-to-5s. So someone really coming out to talk about business down to the numbers, down to the strategy, was not something that was so common. And I was happy to be motivating people. Like, now I've seen people that have decided to even quit their jobs just because I started creating this content on Instagram. So it's been really, really nice. And along the line of creating on Instagram, helping people also start with like building the home service business. Now, I decided to start a series as well, which is a place where I'm interviewing entrepreneurs, especially Black immigrants who are in this part of the world doing well, and also showcasing what they're doing so that a lot of Black people like myself see what's possible in the West. Because the truth is, when it comes to relocation, the main reason why a lot of us have decided to relocate is because we know that there's a lot of opportunity here, but when we eventually get here, we get really locked up in that cycle of chasing the next bill, trying to pay the bill, and we really never leave to fulfill our potentials massively. And let's just be very, very blunt and honest. I have nothing against the 9-to-5. A lot of my guys, my family members run the 9-to-5, but that's not so much of my own thing personally. And also from the part of wealth building, not too many 9-to-5s would give you the opportunity to build wealth like a business would. So I typically have been encouraging a lot of Black people to get into businesses, because that's the only way we begin to build wealth here. But most importantly, it also helps us begin to build influence, which is very, very critical in this space and in this whole part of the world as a whole. So that's kind of some of the things I've been up to so far. I just wanted to update you guys. I'll now start dropping a lot of videos back to back as much as possible. Try to drop a video every week. And I really hope you guys share my videos. Of course, you should subscribe if you're not subscribed. And yeah, let's hope we can help a lot more immigrants get started with businesses here, because now I run 2 businesses which are doing quite well. Not the biggest business, well, like, of course, but they're doing quite well, and at least I'm able to feed, which is the most important thing. So I'm trying to really see how we can also use this this YouTube channel to do that. I'll begin a podcast where I'll begin to interview these entrepreneurs that I'm meeting and going on very lengthy conversations with them. So if you know any entrepreneur in Canada, the UK, the US who is doing well, I might be interested in me interviewing them. You want to link them with me so that I can get on an interview with them and showcase them to other Black people, and they can also get to inspire them. So I think that's all I have for you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and of course share it with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.